I'm sitting watching blood while it dries on my sleeve, thinking why does everyone I love die or just leave? And if I mean a thing, then why would you leave? My mind only sees the suicide side of things. At this point we can't relate if you ain't lost everything.
Okay, so what's up guys, welcome back to West Wild World. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. I'm just, sorry the snake room's a mess. I am just redoing a bunch of enclosures. It's that time of year again where I'm deep cleaning a lot of stuff. So yeah, but I have to deep clean my boomslang, my green mamba, the bothrops, and I'm going to be feeding a new Cape Cobra I got in. So I think we're just going to hop into it. Hop into this bothrops over here, which is a fer-de-lance. I just like using the scientific name, as there's a lot of debate on what a snake actually is. I got sold it being a Bothrops columbiensis, which is very, very closely related to the Bothrops atrox. And yeah, that's sort of what the debate around this is, if it's that snake, that specific snake, or that other snake. But these guys are absolutely gorgeous. They're little heat-seeking missiles. Absolutely. It's probably one of the most dangerous snakes in my collection to actually handle, because they can have a full body strike range. But he just ate a chick the other day, so I'm not going to handle him too much, but you can check how absolutely gorgeous and beautiful this guy is, and check the size of that head. Very, very necrotic venom these guys have, and yeah, absolutely love him. Super, super happy to actually have one in my collection, but he's going to fall off the hook, so I'm going to put him in the bin. I'll see you guys now. Okay, so I just redid his enclosure, basically added another layer of substrate, cleaned out everything that I need to. Basically what was happening was when I went to go water the plants in there, it was making everything way too wet, and that can lead to a thing called red belly, or just a fungal disease in the, it's basically scale rot. So yeah, if it gets too wet, they are tropical animals, but if they just sit in that moisture, it can be bad for them. But yeah, so I added another layer of substrate and another layer of leaves to hopefully negate that when I actually water the plants. But let's get this bothrops out. You wouldn't have seen, but when I closed, he was showing us his defensive display, which is actually him wagging his tail, which actually mimics a rattlesnake. So what they will do when they feel defensive, you might be able to, he's doing it slowly there. So what they do in the leaf litter, they will wiggle that tail and mimic a rattlesnake, to basically ward off any predators that might come its way. But you can see there, as soon as I grab its tail, it starts to go. But I'm just going to get it straight back into the enclosure, because it can actually get back to my hand from where it is, but I need to redirect it. Working with these guys in such enclosed positions isn't the most fun in the world, but you see, if you're slow and gentle with them, they will respect you, even though this snake is an absolute nutter. Let's get you right back into your enclosure, brother. The Bothrops family is known for being one of the more deadly snakes to actually handle in the world. Personally, I would much rather handle a pissed off black mamba than a pissed off big Bothrops asper. And there you can see in the leaf litter, it will make that rattle noise. If you come closer here, he might do it again. There, you can hear there. So that would be their defensive display. Obviously, because they don't have a rattle, it's just to ward off all the predators. But he's a big boy, doing well. Ugh. Okay, so next up is going to be my baby Eastern Green Mamba. His enclosure is looking very, very, very sad. So he really needs a deep clean. This guy is very, very touchy. Yes, you can see, so gonna be very careful with him. Get him out nice and slow. Tongue users would just tell me to neck him, but there we go. Look how beautiful the Eastern Green Mamba is. Doesn't dig me touching him. He is in shed at the moment, so his colors are a bit dull. And he is just a juvenile. He has a lot of growing to do. They can get about 2 meters in length. I actually have a 2-meter one outside soaking right now. And this is just his little baby cousin. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous animal. They have a very potent neurotoxic venom. Out of all the mamba species, they actually have the least toxic venom drop for drop. But it can still drop you within 2 hours, and an hour even if it's a bad bite with no allergic reaction. So these guys are no joke. But I'm just going to get them into the bin, do a deep clean, and I'll see you guys after. Okay, so just redone the enclosure. Looks a lot better. It doesn't look as so sad anymore. Obviously he's going to have an upgrade pretty soon, but if you guys want to come see that there's gaps in between the display enclosures, so putting him in one of these guys, I could put weather stripping on here, but it's just peace of mind that I know that he can't escape from these things, and that's with most of these snakes in these tubs here. So when they get to an appropriate size, when I'm confident that they can't escape from these enclosures, then I'll upgrade them. But till then, I'm going to be keeping him in here. He's doing pretty well, everything like that. So let's get him out, see if he's still as touchy. Of course he will be, because he's a number, king of his own jungle in his own respect. Super big boy. I don't know if he's a boy or girl, but I've been growing this guy up since he's about a month or two old, from a little deathworm till now. So he's absolutely gorgeous. Still very touchy animal. You can still kill me at this size, so have to be very careful. Even though the greens are way more reluctant to bite than their cousins, the black mamba and the Jamesons and other variations of the green mamba, it doesn't mean that they won't. And you can never take it for granted how agile and arboreal these guys are. I mean, they can just flip back on themselves in a blink of the eye. But you can check how big he is now stretched out. He's about 60-70 centimeters, I'd say. Absolutely gorgeous animal. But let's get him into the enclosure. Okay. And he doesn't seem to like it very much. You want a display enclosure? Yes. I know. Don't pop your head out there. There we go. Naughty little snake. But you enjoy your enclosure. Hopefully that's very good enrichment for him. And he'll do a bit better. But I'm going to move on to the boomslang, and then I'm just going to feed the KP 2 leftover chicks, and I'll check you guys there. Okay, so next up is my little juvenile boomslang. As you can see, his house is also very depressing at the moment. I haven't wanted to mess with these guys through our winter because they're very picky with eating, especially with the cold and load shedding. Again, load shedding is basically we don't have power for 2 to 12 hours a day, depending on what our government wants to put us through. So obviously during that time I don't have heating for these guys, and they are subjected to the elements, which is barely above about 12 degrees at night. Doesn't sound cold, but we have very icy winters because we're right by the ocean. But let's get this boomslang out and redo his enclosure. He's been doing super well. He's taken a meal not so long ago. And obviously I want to be very gentle with him because I barely ever handle him, because I don't want him to lose his trust in me and stop eating because he gets too stressed out. But he's a gorgeous animal. Boomslangs are the most toxic venomous snake on the African continent, drop for drop. So these guys are actually more venomous than that of a black mamba. Many people don't really know that because these guys are so reluctant to bite, and they are actually rear-fanged. Rear-fanged means that they have the fangs right at the back of their mouth. It's a very primitive fang structure compared to the hypodermic needles of our recent snakes that you would know, like elapids or Vipidae. But the common misconception is that people have of these guys is that they can actually that they have to chew on you to envenomate you, which is not necessarily true. If they want to give you a full dose of their venom, they would have to chew on you, but even just a scratch is enough to drop you dead. Their venom is very slow acting, can kill you. Signs usually only show up between 4 to 6 hours if it's severe envenomation, but signs of envenomation can actually only show up maybe 24 or even 48 hours later. Some people have actually been discharged from the hospital after a boomslang bite because they'd done the test, their blood was fine, it wasn't thinning, wasn't doing anything, and 24 hours later they died. So these guys are nothing to play with. But I'm going to get into the bin and redo his enclosure, little boy. Okay, so I've just redone his enclosure. Got a snake hook now out for all these people that don't like free handling. But yeah, he's absolutely gorgeous. And you guys can see there that large green emerald eye, well, emerald, absolutely gorgeous. It's a sign of a juvenile boa. Oh my god. Yeah. I must say that this guy actually stresses me out more than any other snake in my collection. Even though he's very, very reluctant to bite, he has hunted for my fingers before. And yeah, just a little bit on edge when I deal with him. But those large green emerald eyes are an indication that this is a juvenile boomslang. These guys are sexually dimorphic, but when they are young, they have a completely different coloration to when they are an adult. So this guy will either turn a black and yellow underneath, or he'll turn brown like a normal female. But he seems like he's going to be going to the black and yellow because his top is still staying that black sort of color, and his bottom's like going up white. So we'll see what happens with him. But let's get him into his new enclosure, see how he likes it. I don't know if he will be the same as the green mamba and just try and shoot out. Look, it's a tree. So right now you can see his tongue flicking. He's just sensing his new surroundings, and it's very good enrichment for them to do a deep clean like this. Basically, it's a whole new change of scenery for them. Most people don't think you can actually enrich the lives of your snakes because they are dumb, but I try and give them the best life possible in captivity. Obviously, all of these snakes are meant to be in the wild, but I have a reason for wanting these guys in captivity, to teach people about them, and just because I love them. But planning on opening up a snake park, so that's why I have all of these animals. And I find it very important to have the local species so I can teach people what is around them, what to look out for, what not to pick up, and things like that. But hopefully he has a good time in his new enclosure. And yeah, the last snake, just going to be feeding the new Cape Cobra, and then I also need to help my big green mamba shed, but I don't know if I'll get that on film. But yeah, I'm going to move on to that. Okay, so this is my new Cape Cobra, Nyanivia. He is a rescue that was deemed to be unfit for release, because as you can see when he hoods up there, he only has half a hood, so someone has hit him on the side of that hood there, and he's a big sore with broken ribs on that side. So I mean, I think he will be fine in the wild, but you know, I'm happy that he's been deemed not to be fit for release, because now I get a new Cape Cobra. And he, as you can see, he is not a happy boy most of the time, but I have some day-old chicks here for him, so hopefully he'll love me a bit more. He's already eaten 2 day-old chicks with me. Hey, come now. He's a bit shy, but hopefully... Hey, come. I know you want it. But I think I'm going to name this guy Pirate, because you know pirates have the wooden leg and stuff like that, and an eye patch. Or Old Halfhood, which is also like a pirate sort of name. But he wants it. Can. Again, he has taken with me already. These are just leftover day-old chicks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave both of them in here. He's bitten it. And I'm also going to flip over his hide very gently to not hurt his back there. And yeah, that's Old Pirate. So I forgot to film an outro, so I've just given you guys something special. These are my 2 banded snouted cobras. So thank you guys so much for watching today's episode, and I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.